Okay guys, the second thing we worked on last week was graphing inequalities and shading. A lot of you said you were having some trouble with that, so I think it's pretty important that we learn how to do that. So I'm going to take some more days this week to do it, and then we'll move on to something new next week. I want to give you some examples on how to do these problems. So you were given problems like this. Y maybe is less than 2x plus 3. If you notice, the difference is we don't have equal signs anymore. We have less thans and greater thans. Review that a little bit. You have this, 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 and this. This is less than. This is greater than. This is less than or equal to. And this is greater than or equal to. Okay, now how do you remember them? There's a couple different ways, and you'll just pick whichever way you like the best. Think when you read a book. You read a book from left to right. I always tell my students, when you read your book from left to right, if you hit the small part first, it's a less than sign. If you hit the big part first, it's a greater than sign. Might be kind of stupid, but that's how I remember it. So going across here, you hit the small side first, less than, big side, greater than. Another way, this was actually told to me by a student. He said if you tilt your paper just a tiny bit, the less than looks like an L. So if that helps you, let that be it. So you got less thans, greater thans, less than equal to, greater than equal to. Now, the nice thing is, the way you graph it is exactly the same as you did before. If you remember, back in middle school, you had something called y equals mx plus b. We talked about this on the previous lesson this week. B is called the y-intercept, and it's where you start up and down. M is your slope. That tells you how to go up and down to get your second dot. So let's go to our problem we just did. Y is less than 2x plus 3. So we have our graph, and it's okay, you can hand draw your graphs too. They don't have to be perfect. If you want to make yourself some graph paper, that's fine. I can email you graph paper if you have a printer. You can print it out yourself. You can get some from the internet. But if you want to hand draw it, that's fine. So the number at the end, the B, tells us where we start. So we're going to start up 3. That's our B. I'm going to try to color code this, see if it helps a little bit. I found some different color pens and markers here. Now, the number hooked to the X is the slope. That's our M. Now, slope is one of the things where you'd almost rather it be a fraction. The way you make 2 be a fraction, any whole number you put over a 1. Hopefully you learn that at some point in your career. But slope is rise over run. I'll write that here. So M, which is the slope, is rise over run. So rise over run. We're going to rise 2 and run 1. Our run is always over to the right. We always go this way like we're reading a book. So slope of 2 means we're going to go up 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, and there's my second dot. Now I'm going to draw my line. Now I'm going to back up a little bit here. Another thing that's different between less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. If anything has an equal part to it, last week when we had a regular old equal sign, if we have an equal, greater than equal, less than equal to, it's always going to be a solid line. If you do not have the equal part, only a less than or a greater than without the line, without the equal, it's going to be a dotted line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a dotted line here. So really that's the only thing new so far from the other lesson. We still start up 3, rise 2, so that's slope of 2. We went up 2 over 1. And since it's a less than, we do a dotted line. If this had a line under it, less than, equal to, we do a solid line. Now here's something that's brand new for what we call inequalities. These things here are called inequalities. They're not equal to. And I'll write that down in case you've never heard of that word before. They are called inequalities. So this is just a big fancy word for less thans and greater thans, less than equal to, greater than equal to. Think of the word inequalities, not equal, so they're not equal to signs. So if you ever hear of inequalities, that's all they're talking about. Now, another thing with these, you have to shade. Every single one of these inequalities need to be shaded. And when I say shaded, you're going to shade below the line or you're going to shade above the line. Some people say to the right of the line or to the left of the line. I think it's going to be a whole lot easier if you try to do it by saying below and above. Here's why. There's a little trick to it. You can use this shortcut if your y is by itself. And today, all of our y's will be by themselves. A less than, think of what less than means. Less than usually means below or under or low. So anytime you have a less than, you're going to shade below it. Anytime you have a greater than, you're going to shade above. So since we have a less than sign, we're going to shade below the line. So I'm shading below. If this were a greater than sign, we shade above. And that's how you graph an inequality. Now, there's actually a way you can check your work. I don't want to throw too much at you at once here, but I think you could probably handle it. Here's how you check it. You pick a point that is somewhere in the yellow, any ordered pair you want. So maybe I'm going to put a little star at it. I'm going to put a star right here. My point here, and all this is shaded yellow, goes forever in every direction. So my checkpoint, that's what I put this little star for. I'm using the point over 4 up 1. If I take my old equation, which was y equals 2x plus 3, and I'm going to plug in my checkpoint. I'm going to plug in a 4 for the x, a 1 for the y. That's x and y. So all I did is instead of this x, I put the 4. Instead of this y, I put a 1. And now I'm going to ask myself, is 1 less than all this? 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Is 1 less than 11? Yes, it is, because 1 is less than 11. And if that works, you know you did your work right. So let's go through and review real quick then. Here's your inequality. Y is less than 2x plus 3. The number at the end, which is a 3, I started up 3. From there, the slope is rise over run, the number hooked to the x. This is the m. So I need to go up 2 and over 1. So from this 3, I already wrote the 3's dot here. I'm going to go up 2 over 1. And since I don't have a line under here, when I graph it, I'm going to do a dotted line. So these are dotted. And this is solid. So we put our dotted line. So we did our up 3, up 2 over 1, dotted line. And now, since we have a less than sign, we got a shade. We're going to shade below the line. Theoretically, this shading goes forever, below the line. Now, the way you check your work. Pick yourself any point you want over here in this yellow. I could have picked 0, 0. I could have picked 1, 1. I could have picked over 2, down 6. I could have picked back 1, down something. Anything in the yellow. I picked over 4, up 1. And all you're going to do is substitute. I'm going to put this 4 right here for x, 1 right here for y. And I went ahead and did it down here. I put the 4 for the x, the 1 for the y, and I'm going to ask myself if it's true. Was 1 less than 8 plus 3? Yes, it is, so I know I did my problem right. So that is how you graph inequalities. Now, this is kind of a long video, so I'm going to have to stop it, and I'll do another video to show another example.